must be a powerful bitch. Remember telling you about my candle tricks, and you telling people I do voodoo magic. Can't believe that I romanticized what you left behind, when the whole time you thought I put a hex on you. Now everything makes so much sense, and it's alright, cause it's not a loss if you were spellbound right. You said I put a spell on you. You sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Magic bullshit to you. My Kumba got you all confused. Imagine a world where someone could care that much. It's impossible, right? No, it must be a miracle. Must be a miracle. Imagine a guy who could actually be that kind. It's impossible, right? No, it must be a witch to you. It must be crazy for you to love someone else almost as much as you love yourself. And I'm nothing like you, that must be narcissist hell. Try to find yourself in someone else. You said I put a spell on you. You sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Now I wish I put a spell on you to warm that evil cold heart. Could say something that's so ridiculous it makes me sick. My Kumba got you all confused. My Kumba got you all. My Kumba, 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 my Kumba. Me chama de macumbeira, foi intenso esse amor. Até de feiticeira, ele me acusou. Me chamou de macumbeira, foi intenso esse amor. Até de feiticeira, ele me acusou. You said I put a spell on you. You sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Now I wish I put a spell on you to warm that evil cold heart. Could say something that's so ridiculous it makes me sick. My Kumba got you all confused. My Kumba got you all confused. I heard a rumor that you think I'm a witch. Goddamn, I must be a powerful bitch. Remember telling you about my candle tricks, and you telling people I do voodoo magic. Can't believe that I romanticized what you left behind, when the whole time you thought I put a hex on you. Now everything makes so much sense, and it's alright, cause it's not a loss if you were spellbound right. You said I put a spell on you. You sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Magic bullshit to you. My Kumba got you all confused. Imagine a world where someone could care that much. It's impossible, right? No, it must be a miracle. Must be a miracle. Imagine a guy who could actually be that kind. It's impossible, right? No, it must be a witch to you. It must be crazy for you to love someone else almost as much as you love yourself. And I'm nothing like you, that must be narcissist hell. Try to find yourself in someone else. You said I put a spell on you. You sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Now I wish I put a spell on you to warm that evil cold heart. Could say something that's so ridiculous it makes me sick. My Kumba got you all confused. My Kumba got you all. My Kumba, my Kumba, my Kumba. sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Now I wish I put a spell on you to warm that evil cold heart. Could say something that's so ridiculous it makes me sick. My Kumba got you all confused. My Kumba got you all confused. I heard a rumor that you think I'm a witch. Goddamn, I must be a powerful bitch. Remember telling you about my candle tricks, and you're telling people I do voodoo magic. Can't believe that I romanticized what you left behind, when the whole time you thought I put a hex on you. Now everything makes so much sense, and it's alright, cause it's not a loss if you were spellbound right. You said I put a spell on you. You sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Magic bullshit to you. My Kumba got you all confused. Imagine a world where someone could care that much. It's impossible, right? No, it must be a miracle. Must be a miracle. Imagine a guy who could actually be that kind. It's impossible, right? No, it must be a witch to you. It must be crazy for you to love someone else almost as much as you love yourself. And I'm nothing like you, that must be narcissist hell. Try to find yourself in someone else. You said I put a spell on you. You sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Now I wish I put a spell on you to warm that evil cold heart. Could say something that's so ridiculous it makes me sick. My Kumba got you all confused. My Kumba got you all. My Kumba, 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 my Kumba. Me chama de macumbeira, foi intenso esse amor. Até de feiticeira, ele me acusou. Me chamou de macumbeira, foi intenso esse amor. Até de feiticeira, ele me acusou. You said I put a spell on you. You sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Now I wish I put a spell on you to warm that evil cold heart. Could say something that's so ridiculous it makes me sick. My Kumba got you all confused. My Kumba got you all confused. I heard a rumor that you think I'm a witch. Goddamn, I must be a powerful bitch. Remember telling you about my candle tricks, and you're telling people I do voodoo magic. Can't believe that I romanticized what you left behind, when the whole time you thought I put a hex on you. Now everything makes so much sense, and it's alright, cause it's not a loss if you were spellbound right. You said I put a spell on you. You sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Magic bullshit to you. My Kumba got you all confused. Imagine a world where someone could care that much. It's impossible, right? No, it must be a miracle. Must be a miracle. Imagine a guy who could actually be that kind. It's impossible, right? No, it must be a witch to you. It must be crazy for you to love someone else almost as much Unless you love yourself. And I'm nothing like you, that must be narcissist hell. Try to find yourself in someone else. You said I put a spell on you. You sound so stupid right on cue. Kinda horrific that this love I cherished was magic bullshit to you. Now I wish I put a spell on you to warm that evil cold heart. Could say something that's so ridiculous it makes me sick. My Kumba got you all confused. My Kumba got you all. My Kumba, 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 me chama de Macumba.
What's up, witches? How are we? How are we? Hi, how is everybody? Betty, you gave up on getting rid of your friend, so you're just on as her, huh?
She's here. She's actually here tonight.
Oh, yay!
With her. Yeah, she's here.
That's awesome.
Come, Marlene.
Whoa.
Come, Marlene. Come say hi to Allie. Over here.
Oh,
There you go.
hi, Allie. Can you see me?
You've been here in spirit every week.
I know. She told me she was making me laugh. And I wanted to say congratulations on your store and all the stuff that people helped you out with. It's so you're so a beautiful soul. Very beautiful soul.
I share you with her, Allie.
I missed that last part. I did something weird with my sound.
That's okay. I share her with you.
Yes.
Yes. And how's the store going? You have a lot of nice
It's
stuff in
going
it.
great. It's going
Headquarters.
great. It's so exciting being in my own space finally and everything. And
There we
people are
go.
starting to hear about it. And
Nice.
Wonderful,
Very
yeah.
nice. Okay, I won't keep you. Nice meeting you.
nice to meet you.
You too as well. Bye-bye.
I can't believe you're still on here.
There has to be a way of deleting me. Oh, I thought it was, you see her on both cameras.
All right, just making sure all my camera stuff and video stuff is all good and that we are recording and all of that good stuff.
Allie, am I showing up or am I only showing up as Marlene?
You are only showing up as Marlene right now.
Okay, I'm going to log out and come back in.
Okay. Hi, Michaela. Welcome. Welcome. Everybody's just getting comfy. I'm going to see if I can. It says I'm screen sharing. Are you guys able to see the meeting screen that says like the times and how we do things? You can see that. So you can see that and see me. Okay, good. Awesome. Very cool. Okay, great. All right, good stuff. So I wanted to have that up for us today because our meeting is a little bit different than normal. So I wanted to make sure that, as people come into the room and come into the meeting, that they know what's going on and kind of generally what's happening so that we don't have to stop. I'm not sure how many folks will tune in. I never know, but it might be a few more than usual just because we do have a special guest today. So I know that folks are going to definitely try to be here for that. So I just want to leave that up on the screen so people know what's going on. If this is your first time here, then welcome to the BronxWitch Book Club. We meet every month to discuss a book that we read over the course of 2 months. So we read like half a book every month, and then we come together at the end of the month to talk about that book. This month, we are reading Manifestation Magic by Elhoim Leafar, a friend of mine, a New York resident, originally from Venezuela. And we'll talk a little bit more about him and the book in a little bit. But basically what we'll do to start is we'll start with our group intros. This is an interactive group. So I do ask that you turn on your camera to introduce yourself. If you are not all gussied up, don't worry. This is a very welcoming, very inclusive group. So feel comfortable. Most people are like settling into the evening when we do that, but we'll go around and everyone will, if you don't mind, just share your name and where you are in the world and your progress with the book. And no judgment here. If you haven't even started, that's totally fine. So wherever you are in the book, just let us know. And we'll keep our intros pretty short. And then we will move into a brief opening prayer that I will lead us in just to get us in the right headspace and kind of give thanks for this space that we're in. And then we will start discussing the book. And at about 6 o'clock, our guest tonight, the author of the book, Elhoim, will be joining us. So he's got the link and he's gonna pop in around 6 o'clock and we'll just have a little question and answer for him. So I'll introduce him to you guys, and then he'll have the opportunity to introduce himself and share whatever about himself he'd like you all to know. And then we'll move into some Q&A. I think just to make everything easy and smooth for everyone and to keep us in a reasonable time frame, I think the easiest way for us to do the Q&A will be for you guys to drop your questions down in the chat. And then I'll just read them to him. So you can drop your questions now. You can wait until he comes on. But in the chat, just say question for the author, question for Elhoim, and write your question. And I'll just read them for him. And it'll just be he and I going back and forth on the Q&A. And hopefully that takes about 30, 40 minutes. And then we'll move into show and tell, which is one of my favorite parts. And show and tell is basically just an opportunity for people to share any of the spells or crafts or anything that they've done, either from the book or that is inspired by the book or, things of that nature. So if you don't have anything or didn't bring anything, that's totally okay. Just know that we like to share with each other, things from the book, because a lot of the books that we read are kind of interactive. A lot of them have to do with spell crafting, spell casting. So if they inspire you to actually do something, then we usually like to share it with each other. And then we'll finish up with a few announcements about BronxWitch stuff and just let you guys know about next month. We have, holidays coming up and all of that good stuff. So we'll talk a little bit about the schedule for next month, and then we'll close out and send everybody off into hopefully a very beautiful rest of the evening. So I will get us started with the intros, and then I'll just kind of, go alphabetically down the list and help people unmute themselves. My name is Allie, aka BronxWitch, and I am located in the Bronx, New York City. And my progress with the book, I'm probably only into the second chapter. So I'm only on like page 15. It's been kind of a busy month for me. So it's been taking me a while to get into it. But one of the things that we were really happy about is this book is a lot shorter than the last two that we read. So I feel like I'll be able to catch up before next month's meeting. So that's where I am. So it looks like alphabetically Josie is next. So I'm going to ask her to unmute.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Hi. My name is Josie, aka Goddess of Fire. I'm from Washington, D.C. I am eclectic witch soul practitioner. As far as the book is concerned, I am part 2, where it says abundance, prosperity, and wealth. What really stuck out to me with the book was some of the gods. Names that I really didn't know. I'm kind of like researching them, and also the days of the week when it's good to do certain spells. So I find the book very interesting and I am enjoying it.
Thank you for sharing that, Josie. Welcome. Next will be, I guess actually Betty. I should go back to Betty because I was reading the letters and I was like, Marlene, but I'm actually going to go back to Betty if that's okay. And I'm going to ask you to unmute and mute myself.
Hi guys, Betty here from Toronto, Canada. Saw some snowflakes today, not happy. I'm really enjoying the book. I'm on chapter 7. just starting it. I did a bit of a crash read last night. I was short about 20 pages, but I wanted to be at the halfway point, dedicated. It's very interesting. You know, there's a lot of information about the color coordinate correspondence. So I'm enjoying it, very informative. And I like that it's an easier read than some of the other books that we've had. It just seems to be flowing nicely.
Very cool. Thank you. Welcome. All right. I think next is Linda. So I'm going to ask Linda to unmute.
Okay, I hope you guys can see me. Hi, I am Linda, and Sophia Brings Light is kind of the AKA for me. I am enjoying the book. I just started chapter 4, so I think I may be 2 or 3 pages into chapter 4. I've enjoyed the book. Though it reviews some things, it also brought some new information into my mindset. So I always like that when I can get new information. I guess that's pretty much it. And this is my first time being on the book club. So I'm pretty excited about that I always kind of am working or whatever and have to miss. So I'm excited that I got a chance to be on it.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is the first book club for a lot of folks. So thank you so much for being here. And we really appreciate your presence. And I think next, hold on, my screen just got weird. Okay, I think next is Mickey. All right, I'm gonna ask to unmute and I'm gonna mute myself.
My name is Mickey and my pronouns are she or they. I am currently located in Maryland, and I just finished chapter 6. I think I've been struggling a bit with the book. I think I struggle a lot with like talking about manifestation and abundance. But I feel like I had something that I read today kind of like had a little breakthrough for me. So I'm excited to like really get into this discussion. So, and this is also my first book club, so I'm super, super excited. So thank you.
Yay, all the book club virgins. I love it. Welcome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, I think for me, I was like kind of a part of a book club that was happening on Discord. Last year, I was a part of the official Witches Sabbath, which is like a online witches conference, and they have a Discord, and there was a book club, and I was kind of like moderating the book club, but it's really different being on like a server where you're just texting and stuff like that, because you can't really like interact and discuss and all that good stuff. So that kind of gave me the idea of like, well, what if I did a book club with like my folks and we like actually got together via Zoom and talked about the books. And so far, so good. I feel like people really enjoy it. And for me, it's like a whole different world from when I first started practicing, where everything I read was by myself. And like, I didn't even know how to pronounce a lot of things. So I said a lot of things weird because I only read them. I never heard anyone say the words. So it's really nice being a part of a group and actually being able to like talk about these things and see how other people vibe with it and, you know, share information and resources and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for your intros. I think I'm going to go ahead and move us into the opening prayer just so we can get into the right mindset, and then we'll move into the actual discussion, okay? So no pressure, no need to close your eyes or do anything special. Whatever it is that feels natural to you to send up a prayer of gratitude and thanks, I invite you to do that. But I just want to take a moment to give honor and thanks to all of our ancestors, our guides, our guardians, our angels, our spirits, all of those on the other side who are with us, who walk with us, who come to us when called. And I call on them and ask them to be with each and every one of us today to help to facilitate understanding and clear communication so that we can discuss this book and learn more from each other, learn more from the author in a safe and welcoming and special place. I thank each and every one of you for being here. So mote it be. Okay, so if this is your first meeting, then basically just know that the discussion is not like the intros. I won't be calling on anyone. There's no order. You don't have to raise your hand or anything like that. Unmute yourself freely to discuss whatever you'd like, make whatever points you'd like. My only request is that if you are not speaking, please remember to mute yourself, just so that if you have background noise going on in your space, it doesn't interfere with the meeting, but otherwise feel free to unmute yourselves. A couple of things about Zoom that you may not know about. There is the chat feature. So depending on the type of device that you have, you might need to click the 3 buttons at the top of your screen. Otherwise, it'll be down at the bottom of your screen and it should say chat. And you can open up the chat and leave any information down there. And definitely, if you come up with any questions for the author, that's a great place to put it. You can send your questions or your comments to everyone, but you can also select specific people if you want to have private conversations during the chat. That's totally fine too. And let me see, actually, because I think we have some more participants. Okay, yay! Yeah, we've got a few more people in here. All right. So let me just back up and make sure we get intros from everyone, because we want to say hi to everybody. So it looks like Lupe and Janine are in here. So welcome, welcome, guys. How are you? So alphabetically, I guess technically Lupe, because you're Guadalupe, you're first. So I'm going to ask you to unmute and just let you intro yourself. Tell us your name, where you're located, and how far you have gotten in the book.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Guadalupe, but I go by Lupe. Currently located in Brooklyn, New York. And I guess that's I don't want to butcher the pronunciation, but I think it's Lenape land, right? So I go by the pronouns of she and her. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in the beginning of the book still because it's been a struggle to read for me personally. You know, Allie knows why. I got into an accident, so the concussion kind of like messes up like memory, like short-term memory, but it, you know, I'm still reading it, and I've found that a lot of the information in like the first 2 chapters that I read are actually pretty good, and I really feel deeply with it when it comes to manifestation. And I say that I just started reading this because my sister actually took it and she just gave it to me like yesterday after Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm like, girl, I need to read it for the book club. But she honestly enjoyed the book a lot, so she told me to, you know, there's a lot of good things going forward in the book. So I'm looking forward to just reading more on it.
That's so funny. I have the same issue. We keep voting on books, you know, every 2 months. And I at some point, I know that Psychic Witch is going to be selected because it always gets really high votes. It just hasn't won just yet. And I lent it to my friend and I keep being like, yo, girl, like, I need my book back. So like, come on, any day now. But welcome. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad that you could make it today. And I think next we have Janine. So I'm going to ask you to unmute and
Hi, yeah, I'm Janine. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I'm basically an eclectic witch. So I follow all kinds of paths and just kind of mix and match things. As far as the book goes, I have finished part 1 and about to start part 2. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's written in a very nice, straightforward manner, and I look forward to reading the rest of it.
Yay, thank you. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, everyone. So I just wanted to make sure I got everybody. So I think that's everybody who's with us right now. If people come in a little bit later, I'll try to, stop things so that they can say hi too. I want, everyone to always feel, included in the meeting, even if they come in late, because I totally understand. But now we can kind of get into the discussion. And like I was saying, no need to like raise hands or anything. Feel free to just jump in with your commentary. The chat feature is another feature that you can use to share resources, comments, or to have conversations amongst yourselves, which are totally fine. If you want to leave private messages there, you absolutely can. And yeah, that's it. So let's get started. I guess most people said that they are enjoying it. I was waiting for someone to say that they're not, because I noticed somebody in the comments on the monthly discussion thread that got posted like 2 weeks ago or so, say that they were actually kind of having a hard time following along with the writing style of the author, that it was like sort of like a concept would be brought up and then it would like not really be fully hashed out until like later on. And they were kind of having a hard time with the writing style. So, just know that this is a totally open, honest space. So don't feel pressured to be enjoying the book because like everybody else seems like they're enjoying the book. It's totally fine to say that you're not enjoying it, or that there are things about it that you would like explained or that you wish were done better or anything like that. But I kick it off to you guys to share your deeper thoughts.
Actually, me who posted that. That it was kind of hard to read, and I still find myself like trailing off. Can you all hear me? Because I know I'm also laying down. I got real comfortable in this bed. But yeah, so like I feel like a concept is started in the beginning and then kind of very roundabout at the end of the page, it feels like it comes like to a conclusion. And that's it. I don't feel like things are being explained well in the center. So I sometimes find my mind trailing because I feel like I'm not making the connection. And like I mentioned before my introduction, like I have a really hard time with manifestation. And it could be just the period that I am in my life right now. I think also when I think about how systems work and kind of like there's been a lot of focus on prosperity magic, I think, in the kind of in our spiritual communities. And I think that it's to me seems disingenuous to tell people that they can manifest their life, their ways out of racism or poverty, and that they're not doing it. It's the reason why they're still in these conditions is because they're not manifesting correctly. So I think that's where I'm struggling with this book, as I'm currently experiencing some of these things, and I'm just like, I'm working really hard. And it's odd, or it just feels I'm feeling that disconnect that between manifestation and trying to create the life that I want to live and that I feel like I deserve and are worthy of living. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that's actually really deep and probably a great place for us to like kick our discussion off on, which is sort of like aside from just the book specifically, but like, what do we feel about manifestation? Like, do we even feel like prosperity and abundance and wealth, as the subtitle of the name is 21 rituals, spells, and amulets for abundance, prosperity, and wealth? Do we even feel like this is the type of thing that magic can really address? Or is it sort of not realistic for handling issues of lack or of poverty or of job loss, things like that?
I think it's totally possible. I've been working with the Money Bowl for about 2 years now, and it was set up to do steady income growth, not anything outlandish. And I feel it's worked great because in the 2 years, our income has gone up significantly. I've in a much better job. and things are progressing nicely. So I think it's totally possible to manifest wealth and abundance in the manner that you choose, as long as it's something reasonable.
I totally agree too. I just feel like manifestation for me is a big part of my craft, and to be able to, and I first had to do something with my mindset about manifestation. I think the ones that I accepted and didn't fight with that this was possible and that I accepted that I can achieve these things, I think it was my mindset that was the block for me. And once I opened up and just opened up to the goodness of the universe and knowing that, you know, I can have those things that I've dreamed about. It's not terrible. I had to get rid of sort of a poor mindset because I come from a poor family originally, and I had to let go of some beliefs. But as soon as I did that, I saw the change in me manifesting even basically my dreams, you know, and we always think it doesn't have to be big dreams. Like for me, it's not really big dreams, but it's to live comfortably and to be able to enjoy the things in my life that bring me comfort and joy. It may not be $500 million or anything like that, but it's the things that bring me joy and happiness in my life about manifestation.
As far as I'm concerned, to me, it's just like that old cliche, you are what you eat, you are what you believe. You have to believe it before you can achieve it. And as far as manifestation goes, I believe whatever I ask for, I can achieve. I know this is the new book that we're in, but I was listening to my sister talk about the money jar that she made. You guys know how I feel about that book that we just finished. And ever since I made the mojo bag and the money jar that I have, yes, I've been manifesting, and yes, every week something has been coming to me. So yeah, I'm a firm believer. You have to believe it before you can achieve it.
Yeah, I think like personally for me, you know, the biggest thing that I have manifested for myself is this space. And you guys know the mojo bag was a big part of being able to get that done in the physical. And it took a lot of like, I basically kind of had to just say, like, what's the harm in just believing this? You know what I mean? Like I had to kind of tell the rational part of my brain, like, thank you for being here. But for a minute, we're just going to be totally irrational. We're not going to base our beliefs on what has happened in our lives or what we've seen come true in the physical world previously. We're going to dispel all sense of belief and just ask for something. So for me to put the address of this place on a petition paper in a mojo bag and within a month be moved in, it was like, oh my goodness. But like I had to kind of just tell myself like, fuck it, you know, because if I let my actual mind could be in control, all I could think about was, I don't have the credit for this. I don't have the savings for this. You know, my business isn't big enough for its own space. Like all of these things that on paper are true. They're absolutely true. I come from the hood. I live in the poorest district in the nation. My family comes from sharecroppers in South Carolina. Like nobody has money to help me out with these things. Like all of these things are absolutely true. And it's not for me, like it wasn't the case that like the mojo bag made any of that not be true. Like all of that is still true. But what it did for me was it helped me to realize that that is true of my past. It doesn't have to be true for my future. And I think Magick is more focused on the future than it is on the past. It's more focused on what can be created, what can be, you know, made, what can be brought into existence, as opposed to what has already been done. I watched this guy named Sadhguru. I don't know if any of you are familiar. He's like this Indian mystic. And he talks a lot about Hinduism's like kind of important to me because I feel like it's the most, not the religion, but like the mysticism behind the religion is like the most in line with how I think the universe actually works in terms of like philosophies that are still around and practiced by people today. So I do listen to a lot of people who come from like Hindu backgrounds or Indian backgrounds because I find their view on things fascinating. And he talks a lot about how our human brains really can't see beyond what it knows. So we can only imagine what we've already seen happen or what we've already experienced. And that makes it really hard to manifest things because we're basing what we want on what we've already got or what we think is possible to be had by like someone in our circumstances. And it like what Linda was saying, it is very much a mindset thing is what I've come to understand and what I work on every day, that the universe has seen everything. The universe understands every possibility. The universe is not limited by where you are in life or what your status is, or even what society has created. The universe is not limited by the patriarchy or by capitalism or by racism. The universe has every possibility in existence. And part of the challenge is getting yourself to tune into the vibration of the universe as opposed to like the vibration of your rational mind, and knowing that like you have all these cards stacked against you in the physical world, and speaking out a desire, understanding that the universe has a different set of rules that it plays by than by like the rules that we're in, you know? So that's not really well formulated because I didn't have time to think about it, but that's kind of like what I like, why I meditate, and like what I keep trying to do with myself as a person is to like be more on the vibration of the universe and letting it do what it needs to do, and me just focus on being really clear and really adamant about what I want, and doing my best to try to quiet that little part of my brain that always creeps up and is like, yeah, but how are you going to get from there to there? Or like, yeah, you weren't born with this. Or like, oh yeah, but you have this, this, and that, you know, stacked against you. And it's hard. It's not something that I've like figured out, you know, but it's like something that I believe is possible, I guess. So I keep trying every day to get better at like turning those voices off, you know?
I find that just in everyday life, I mean, I guess it's a curse and a blessing with COVID, because I've always kind of been on the outskirts of the spirituality that I've been learning over the last, 15, 16 months. And I find that I've manifested a lot without even intending to do it. Like my library and my resources. And I mean, I have company, and last night, sound asleep, I'm up till 3 a.m. studying, reading, doing, organizing, writing in my journal. And then I look at my little apartment and I've manifested this. I didn't have this pre-COVID. So I think we manifest things in our everyday life and we don't even really realize we've done it.
Yeah, that reminds me of something one of my hoodoo teachers said. And like, we have different words for it. Some people manifesting, some people say about miracles, some people say prayer, like, we have different words for it. And, hoodoo is very steeped in the Bible and the Christian faith. And so he is more of like a pastor, and he talks more about things from like the perspective of like prayer and miracles. And he was saying that like, you know, if you ask a person if it's possible to pray for something and have it happen, a lot of times they'll be like, no, that's not possible. But yet we pray all the time and it happens all the time. But because we tend to focus on when things don't go our way, we don't notice all the little times that we say a little prayer, you know, oh, let me catch this train and make my meeting on time. Like, oh God, like, oh, don't let me trip over that. You know what I'm saying? Like those little times that we pray and it comes to be. And we kind of discredit them because they just seem like, oh, like chance. Oh, that was just like, oh, that worked out. Or we give ourselves credit and we're like, oh, I did that, you know, like, oh yeah. But he was like, we're actually often like naturally in a constant state of prayer, even when you're not like super religious, like just that little voice in your head that's like, oh, I hope this works out. I pray this goes okay. Like you know, I want this to work out for me. And the little things that we actually do get, the little miracles, the little manifestations, we don't really take note of. And so he was talking about like the importance of journaling and like writing down at the end of the day how your day went, to kind of realize that, you know, the fact that you have a roof over your head or that you ate today is actually the answer to a prayer. It's actually a successful manifestation. You wanted to eat today, you wanted to be sheltered today, and you didn't question the universe about it happening. You were able to just say, I want that, and so it was. But because it's like so small and everyday, we tend to not really like think of it as like the result of something magical or miraculous or, you know, spiritual or anything like that. But I guess an argument can be made that it is.
So on that note, Moneyball aside, 2 years ago, just before the pandemic really broke out, I was in a job that I despised with every fiber of my being, and I did not make very much money at all. And I remember just thinking, God, if I could just get out of this job, find a better job, if I could just work from home, I would be so much happier. And I remember just wishing for it and wishing for it and wishing for it and wanting a break in general from working for a while. I remember just wanting that so hard. And then the pandemic hit in March of 2020, like so many other people. I was put on a paid leave because of pre-existing conditions due to COVID. So I was on a 5-month paid leave where I didn't have to work at all. And then during that 5 months, I found a much better job that allows me to work from home forever. So I got everything that I wanted just by wishing for it. It's wish magic.
Janine, are you saying COVID is your fault? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I am saying that as bad as the pandemic is, in my little corner of the world, it's been beneficial in a lot of ways as well. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that on the whole like COVID thing, because I feel like, you know, we obviously, you know, we have nothing to do with like creating this virus and, you know, the lives that have been lost and that have been affected, and the fact that we're still dealing with it, and all that has happened is all sad, and it's painful, and it's very much a negative thing for a lot of people. But in a weird way, it does kind of feel like it's the manifestation of like the collective energy of the world, of like the world collectively being like overworked and overstressed and overtaxed and unhealthy and not caring for itself, not caring for the environment, like all of those things kind of coming together to the point where it was like the whole world got a shutdown, you know? And it feels kind of like enough people were in a place of pain and stress and heartache and like the rat race and go and all of that stuff, that it like came together to kind of create this event, this worldwide event that for so many people allowed them to, whether it be work from home or connect with their families better, or just take a break, or get more benefits, government benefits, stimulus, things like that. It's very interesting to think of like how negative everything was before, and like all the ways in which the world has improved, I think, because of it.
Yeah, and it's changing the whole face of working, like with the whole great resignation that's going on. People are leaving really crappy jobs and getting better ones. And it's causing issues for people that utilize those services, so there is that. But at the same time, I think workers as a workforce, they're going to come out better when it's all said and done.
I agree. I feel like it's been hard, but I feel like the world is like, we're leveling up, in a lot of ways. Mickey, you look so comfortable. I just want to climb in bed with you and snuggle. You look so comfortable. I love it.
Thank you.
Hey, Irene's in the building. Hey. Okay, Irene, I'm gonna unmute you. You don't have to go on camera if you are busy or anything like that, but I'm gonna unmute you just to say hello. If you could, please just give your name, where you are in the world, and your progress in the book.
Okay, it's me. As always, I forgot. I am in Washington, D.C. I cannot pronounce it. I don't have my phone with me right now for that long name, but the river that I'm close was called Anacostia River, and it was actually named from part of their name. So I am still doing research on them. It's actually two native groups that was in this area. And as far as the book, I'm about 150. So, because I'm also using the Audible book when I'm driving, and then when I come home, I got to go back, read, and highlight. So I'm doing a double read, I guess you can say. I'm a double reader this time. That's it.
Hi, welcome. Is anybody else doing Audible or like listening to the book? Because I have the hardest freaking time doing like Audible books. Does anybody else have a hard time with
No,
the
I
Audible book?
couldn't do it. I'd fall asleep.
Me too. I either fall asleep or like I'll have it playing in one room and then I walk into another room for like 15 minutes and then I'm like, ah, crap. And I got to go back and try to figure out where it was and like rewind it and stuff. But it would be so much better if I could just listen to it, but I just like can't. So that's why I haven't made that much progress, because I got to find time at night.
Audible only works for me in my car when I'm driving.
Okay.
Because I can't go nowhere but drive in the car. And it also helps my son get an idea of what mommy is up to. We've listened to a lot of fiction books on ancestors. So he's asking questions. But my problem is I'm actually driving when I'm doing Audible. And I got to remember where I'm at to go back on a book that I'm reading through. So it actually pushes me through a little bit more, because it gets me more interested, because I hear like someone's telling me a story and I'm like, I got to go back and read that part when I get to my destination.
Yeah, Audible only works for me for when I'm driving, that I can hold the attention better. But what I do for Audible, for me, that really works is if I really like the Audible book and I feel like it would be a good resource for me, then I buy it. If I'm not really, I'm just okay with the book, then I feel like I have the Audible version.
And my other thing with the Audible is that my daughter shares my Audible account with me. So when I'm finished, she can read it, but I never tell her I have the hard copy because she's not going to steal that from me. Yeah,
Right,
she does. She says she borrows stuff from me. The borrows that you never get
Then
back.
you'll be like Lupe trying to get your book back. like days before the meeting, like, hello. Yeah, no, I did the Audible book for Utterly Wicked by Dorothy Morrison. I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy it, so I was like, let me just do the Audible because it was cheaper, or like the Kindle narration version because it was cheaper. And like the way the Kindle works, you can highlight in the Kindle, but for me, it's not the same like as having the physical book with like my notes and stuff in it. So I was highlighting in the Kindle, and then I bought the book and I went back and I like highlighted into the physical book all the things that I had in the Kindle. And that kind of worked out well for me. It didn't take too much time to go back and like, you know, highlight all the stuff that I wanted to do. But yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to like get further through it because y'all, I found this is not book related. I found this new CBD company that I am loving out of Colorado. And shout out to Lupe because she hooked me up with the CBD book on using CBD as a medicine. And I used to be a cannabis consumer of like THC, and I have totally gone off of THC. So now I only smoke like no THC or very low THC cannabis. That's mostly CBD, and I take like CBD extracts, and it has changed the game for me. But the problem is I keep taking my sleep CBD before bed, talking about, okay, I'm gonna lay in bed and then read. And then 2 pages later, I'm over here like, and my husband was like, have you been leaving the light on for me at night? And I was like, no, I've been leaving the light on. I thought I was turning the light off and going to bed. Nope. Literally, I've just been knocking out so fast. I didn't even realize that I wasn't the one turning off the light for myself. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to like start reading before I take my CBD, because I've been getting through 2 pages at a time. I'm never gonna get through this book.
I'm happy the CBD book actually helped you out. Healing without the high.
It's amazing. I don't know if there are other cannabis users in the house, but I have used cannabis since I was 18. And as I've become like more on, I've been a magical practitioner since I was like 14, but I would not say that I was a spiritual person until I like turned 30. So for like the last 5 years is where I've been more focused on growing as a spiritual person as opposed to just like casting spells and things like that. And I always felt like cannabis had a role in my spiritual life, but I just wasn't sure what. And it kind of came through to me that it's a medicine. So therefore I need to be using it as a medicine. And I really wasn't using it as a medicine. I was just using it. And learning more about the different compounds and what the different compounds do, I realized that it's the CBD in cannabis that I really need for like my issues of like insomnia and like my back pains and things like that. And that has been like really transformative. So yeah, shout out to you, Lupe, because that book really helped me to like understand what it is that CBD does. And I realized like, oh, it's the CBD I need, like not necessarily the other stuff. And it is amazing to like be fully relaxed, to have pain relief, to be ready for sleep, but not be like high and eating everything in my refrigerator. It's been very, very nice.
I also feel like being too high on THC also screwed up a bit with like my way of manifestation, because I feel like it's something you really have to be present for, and it was a distraction. So in a way, I had to also fall back a little bit on my intake and actually start, your teas actually did help me out. So I started, looking up more into herbs and different things instead of, just going straight for the THC, like you said. So I agree with you 100%.
That's very cool. I like, thanks for bringing it back to the topic, back to the manifestation, because that's really, now you got me thinking, like, that's something really interesting, like being fully present for manifesting. Because, you know, we talk about magic being all about the energy and the intention and everything like that. And definitely being high, I'm not present. Like I'm very like out of my body, sort of like, and that's what I liked about it, you know what I mean? Because sometimes being present and being in your body is stressful, especially if, like Mickey is saying, we're dealing with all of these factors of life that are out, that feel at least like they're totally out of our control: poverty, sickness, you know, society, and all of that we have to deal with. It's like being able to escape basically kind of gives you, you know, a rest and gives yourself like a break. But perhaps that's not the best mindset to be in when you're trying to create changes in the physical world. Maybe being more present and aware is actually a beneficial thing. So, yeah. That's something to think about. So I know that Elhoim is going to be joining us soon. So I encourage you guys to, like, now would be a good time to drop stuff in the comments. Oh yeah, Healing Without the High. That's a good book. The book that Lupe gave me is called CBD, A Patient's Guide to Medical Cannabis. So I'll put it in the chat. All right.
And I like how the dedication is also like a Sanskrit, like little like quote, proverb. I'm not sure what it is, but it's in Sanskrit and I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so now would be a good time if you guys are able to use the chat to drop any questions in the chat that you might have for Elhoim about the book, about why he wrote it, about you know, where he got his background from, or where his motivation is for writing the book. When he comes in, I'm going to just give a brief intro, and then I'm going to let him introduce himself. And then I'm going to kind of just start it off with asking him like why he wrote the book and what his motivation was. This is not his first book. You guys might be familiar with his book, Magical Sachets and Charm Bags. So he wrote a whole book about, I know Josie's into her mojo bags. He wrote a whole book about mojo bags that explores mojo bags from like all over the world, but definitely with an emphasis on his background, which is, you know, Venezuelan background. So that is pretty cool. So drop them down in the chat and I will, you know, ask questions beyond there. And it looks like Elhoim is with us. Yay, perfect, right on time. Hello, hello.
Good night. I hope that you can listen to me.
Yes, I can hear you. I
How are
can
you
hear
doing?
you. Yes, are you able to get any closer to your camera? If not, it's okay, but I was just wondering.
Yes, welcome.
We can see your beautiful face, my love.
How are you doing?
All right, awesome. Well, welcome, everyone. I would like to introduce you all to the author of this book that we are reading for the next 2 months, Manifestation Magic. This is Elhoim Leafar. Thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate you hopping in. This is really cool for us. This is our first time having one of the authors of the book that we're reading actually join us for book club. So
thank you. I'm honored.
Yes, it's really, really cool. I appreciate you doing this. For folks who do not know about Elohim, he is an astrologer, dowser, and traditional shaman who has been focused for several years on the study and the teaching of esoteric subjects. He's an author, he's a blogger, he's a regular columnist for various national and international publications where he writes about neo-paganism, witchcraft, astrology, motivation, and spirituality. He started reading tarot and learning about other forms of divination when he was very young. And between the ages of 13 and 21, he became an official part of various covens and also began practicing the Afro-Caribbean religion of Yoruba, and through which he has studied candomblé, quimbanda, umbanda, voodoo, and various other neo-pagan practices. So he's originally from South America, and he learned a lot of his magic from his mother and from his sisters. So he's got that family connection in terms of working with herbs and healing through baths and other forms of herbal treatment. And now he lives in New York. And you can find him in amazing places like Witchfest USA. He was there this year doing a panel, which was really cool. Pagan Pride, and some of the other pagan gatherings that we have here in the city. So welcome, Elohim. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. I remember I do all of that, and I'm very happy to be here. Really happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you for this.
Yes, thank you. So we have already been kind of talking about the book a little bit and just starting off our discussion, and a couple of really interesting points as well as some questions have come up. So to make things quick and easy and to not take up too much of your time, the members of the book club are dropping their questions in the chat, and I'm just going to go through them and read them off to you so that we can keep things very organized and timely. Okay. So before I get into So before I get into the questions from the book club members, I had some questions myself, and I'm going to ask those first. And my first question, because I know this isn't the first book that you've written, and you are a blogger, so you're writing about these topics all the time, but I'm wondering what motivated you to focus in on the topic of manifestation, prosperity, and abundance. What was your motivation behind writing a whole book about this topic?
The motivation was try to break the taboo that we have in the community about money magic, because every time that we talk about protection, oh, that's energy, this is love, oh, it's energy. We go to do any kind of spell work and, oh, this is some kind of energy. But when we talk about money, it's a lot of taboos because we put a lot of things in our minds from when we were very child. So we have some kind of fear to receive money. And I see many times that in the pagan community or the witch community, because I come from Venezuela, and it's literally the same. You see that all of these communities where it's a lot of spirituality, people have fear to admit that they need money. So it's like, oh, I don't have the money to pay the rent, but I'm healthy, Oh, I don't have money for this, but I'm doing very well. So you try to, in some way, like to mask all of these things because we don't want to admit that we need money. But money is not something bad. Money is just a tool. It's just expression of money. It's just that it's the way how you do transactions. You receive something, you give something in change. It's just that. If you try to take all of this fear from it and just try to take money like, okay, this is just another kind of energy that is on my path and I can use it. If you accept that without any fear, without thinking that money is bad, and money wants to corrupt you, that money is just for rich people who won't be rich. If you accept it in a different way, money accepts you. So money starts appearing in your way, in your path. If you are an abundant person, if you are a financially abundant person, you have the opportunity to also support and help people around you, your family, your loved ones, your friends. Because you know what is very frustrating? For example, when I was in my country and I wanted to go to the college, my fathers don't have the money to send me to the college. So, oh, you can find any other work, anyway, we are healthy. We don't need too much money for the family, but it's not about the money. I want to go to the college. I want to have a career. I want to study marketing. I want to do these things. I want to travel around the world. I want to learn other languages. And for all of these things, you need money. You want it or not, you need money. So I just try to break all of these taboos that we have in the community that, oh, these people is just thinking about money. Yeah, but when you pay the rent, you pay with money. When you buy your food, you pay with money. So just try to break the fear and trying to accept all of these things. Oh, I have fear of money. Why? Why I think that money is bad? Why I think that money is wrong? Why I can't accept have money in my life? Because while more time you pass saying, oh, I don't need money, like the universe is a reflection and say the same. Oh, you don't need me, so perfect. I don't need to stay there. Just that when you accept that you can have money and you can use it for good, for yourself, for your family, for your children, for your projects, for your brothers and sisters, money stays there. Money is starting to appear. People are starting to come to you proposing different projects and stuff, and you are like, oh, this is happening. You know, it's manifesting because I'm changing my mindset. So I just, every time that I talk about money, people was like, oh, he's talking all the time about money. So I noticed there was a lot of fear, not just in the United States, also in Venezuela, also in Argentina. So I just tried to, okay, let me break all of this, and let me put all of this in a book, because this spell really works very well for me. I come to the United States from zero. It's not any lie. I come here with barely no money, without contacts, without lawyers, without any contact here. So let me try to put in practice all of this. And now that I see which spells results, let me try to teach people how they can do this.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That actually is along the lines of something that we were talking about ourselves, about our mindsets as it has to do with manifesting, and how we look at money, or how we look at the possibilities to have it as being kind of a part of the process, and how hard it is to step away from these, you know, notions that we have either about money itself or about ourselves, and about like what's possible for our lives. So I'm glad that you wrote this book to help us maybe, you know, unpack some of that stuff that gets beaten into us from such an early age about, you know, what it even means to want these things, and like, is it even okay to want money or to want to be abundant?
For example, I always put this example. I remember one day I was in home, and this is something that happens a lot in Latin families. My mother sent to my nephew to the bakery to buy some bread. She gives some money to him in cash. He go to the bakery, he come back with the bread and with the change. And when he crossed the door immediately, the first thing that she says is not, thank you for the bread or thank you for doing the favor. What she says immediately was, oh, go to wash your hands because you don't know where was the money. You don't know who takes that. And I was in that moment like 15 or 16. And my mind was just like, oh, she's doing with him, with my nephews, and at the same time she do with me. We put a lot of fear in the children about money. Oh, you come from the street, go to wash your hands because you have money, and money is dirty because money has bacteria and you don't know who take it. But it's the way how we express it. It's all the mindset. We create a lot of mindset about money, like money is dirty, money is nasty because you don't know who take it before you. So go to wash your hands because you was taking money, and money is dirty, money is bad, money corrupt the people. So we have all of these things in our minds that every time that we are talking about money with people, oh, people go to think that I am so superficial because I'm just talking about money, but it's something normal. It's like when people are starting to talk about sexuality or religion or politics, it's always this kind of bad topics that nobody wants to take because, you know, it put people in the spotlight and they prefer to stay aside. But money is something that, different to other topics, you need to take seriously because not like your life depends on it, but your quality of life depends a lot of it because you can use money for pay your insurance, for example. You use money for pay the college of your children, for example. So it's not like you need to have it like in a lot, but it will make your life a little easier in many aspects.
I think it's crazy that you mentioned that about the money being dirty thing, because I grew up that way for sure. My mom always being like, wash your hands. Oh my God, money is filthy, money is dirty. Like, you know, and I was like really shocked one time when I saw a hoodoo practitioner who actually washes their hands with money. Like will take money and rub it all over their hands.
Because I want to wash myself in this energy.
Right, before going to play the numbers or before going to the store or whatever, or before giving the money to somebody else, rubbing it all over their hands and being like, this money will come back to me. This money will come back to me,
Exactly.
you know, 10 times over, whatever. And I remember being like, oh, you want some sanitizer? But it's like, that's, you know, that's mentally,
The
and
mindset that
obviously,
we
you know,
have.
there's some truth to the, you know, anything that you touch being dirty, but this idea that money is a bad thing is so deeply rooted in us that a lot of times it can be hard to even imagine that that it's a good thing, first of all, and that there's nothing wrong with wanting it in excess even.
Exactly.
Okay. So I have some questions from the members. I'll just start at the top and I'll do my best to get through all of them. And the first question comes from Linda. And Linda asked if there was one takeaway from the book that you would want the reader to walk away with after reading it. What is that one thing that you would want us to take away?
Thank you, Lina, for the question. Something that I would love that you remember from the book is that you can apply all of these exercises that I made in the book to any kind of magic that you practice. Hoodoo for magic, love magic. Just for example, one of the first exercise in the book or workshops is make this list when you put what is money, what is wrong with money, why I think that money is dirty. That list, that spell word, you can apply that to any other kind of magic that you practice. You are practicing hoodoo or for magic or lukumi, santeria, something we can try to apply this. You sit down for a moment, try to meditate, try to talk with yourself, not with the minds of other people in your mind, not with the voices of others, with your own voice, with your own mind. Why I'm doing this, why I think that this is good, why I'm thinking that this is wrong, why I can do this, why I can't do that, why I'm thinking that this is resulting, because we have a lot of voices in our mind, depending on the things that we read, the teachers that we have, the classes that we take. And many times we take down our own voice and we don't pay attention to our inner voice saying, okay, this is good, or this is wrong, don't do it, because we are just trying to fit in what everybody else is doing. So try to apply this same exercise to any other kind of magic. Try to make questions to yourself. Is this resulting for me? Is this good for me? Is this bad for me? I'm doing this because everybody else is doing it. But why I'm really doing it? Try to take that from the book.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will definitely keep that in mind for the other things that I do. I think that's a good checklist, by the way, to check in and ask yourself, like, why are you doing this? And like, why are you using magic? You know, is that the best? Is that really the best way to get at what you're doing? Like, I try to balance the magical and the mundane. You know, like, is magic really the best way for me to accomplish this thing? Or is there something more mundane in my regular life that would be just as effective, that maybe wouldn't require me, you know, buying so many candles?
Exactly.
I'm going to combine kind of two of the next questions because they're kind of related, a question from Janine and a question from Josie. And Janine asks, what is your favorite form of divination and why? And Josie asks, do you work with runes, which is a divination form? So do you work with runes? And if not, what's your favorite form of divination and why?
I learned with runes many years ago, but I try to don't put in practice because I enjoy more with tarot. Runes is like another tool that I have. I bring my runes with me from Venezuela, but it's not like my favorite tool. My favorite one is the tarot card. I have many decks. I bring my own decks from Venezuela. It's my favorite because you can apply in so many aspects, and the tarot reading is so clean. When you try to be in some way humble, when you try to be like, I'm not trying to have a control of the situation. I understand that I don't have the control. I need the guidance from something beyond. And you sit down and you let the cards give you the information. The cards will give you all the information if you stay away about the things that you are asking for. So the cards are going to give you a lot of information, and you can pass 2-3 hours just sit down in front of 3 cards, analyzing these 3 cards without taking any other card from the deck, and you will receive a lot of information from there, because every card has so many symbols and has so figures, different colors. All of this has different interpretations for you. And when you have many years working with your tarot deck, you have some kind of affinity. So your tarot deck in some way is like another character who knows you very well and trying to give you the information. Your tarot deck will know you very well. So your tarot deck is like, okay, I know that you like fast questions, so let me just throw this in there. Maybe your tarot deck say the contrary. Oh, I know that you like to reanalyze a lot the information, so let me put this very slow, so you take more cards and you receive a whole like a bio, a whole history about the questions that you're asking for. Why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, when I'm doing it, where I'm doing it, under which influence I'm doing it. That's my favorite for that reason, because I think that you can read much more in there. With the runes, I feel it like a little more limited to the symbol. Oh, this is what this means. With tarot cards, every time that you read it, you catch something new. Oh, I noticed that this star was there before. Or for example, when you are starting to check which tarot cards have these colors, or why in every one of these kings has these hands in this position, and the queen has her hands in another position. So it's a lot of things that you are catching there.
Yeah, there's a lot. Tarot is my form of divination too, so I agree that there's a lot there. Do you find yourself using Rider-Waite forms, or Thoth, or Morsai? I know that there are some more like Latin forms of the tarot as well that are kind of more like playing cards that come out of the history of cards from Spain and things like that. Have you ever worked with any of those cards? I think they're fascinating.
It's fascinating, but I never did it because I started immediately with tarot cards. The small story is, I grew up without much money, so I don't have really the money to buy my tarot deck. But I started in the magical part very, very young, because it's part of the family. My mom was looking to learn to read tarot cards because she's in another different path, more involved with Afro-Caribbean magic, and their way of reading for her is not like something that she really enjoys. That is reading these pieces of coconut that we cut and we made a whole reading for that. She really don't like it, no was very clear. So she's starting to take classes, but she's not very patient. She paid for the whole course of like 6 or 9 months. And after just 3 classes, she was like, I don't want to go there more. But she has the tarot deck, she buys it. And has these very small instructions, but in Spanish. So I take the tarot deck, I start to read the instruction, what this means, how this works. I started to go to the public library, and the public library in Venezuela has these books on traditional stuff, on magic and witchcraft, and I find a book on tarot and divination. And I started to read with that, and when I was like 13 or 14, I don't really remember which age, I was in that moment with a lot of clients and people who come home for readings, because I started reading cards with the tarot deck of my mom, and then she never learned. But I try to apply every book that I read. I try to apply every class that I take. I continue taking classes. I continue buying books. I continue trying to be informed about it. Oh, what is this other person saying about tarot cards? Let me try to buy the book. Let me try to go to the class, because always it's very nice to have a new perspective from someone else.
Okay, well, one day you'll definitely have to teach me how to divine with coconut pieces.
It's super easy.
That sounds really cool.
Right.
There's a lot of coconut in my bath, so there's almost always a coconut in my house somewhere. So we'll have to sit down for that.
It's a tropical country, Venezuela is tropical, so we have coconuts everywhere. So we use it for cleansing, we use it for protection, we use it for divination. So you can really write a whole book about all the uses of coconut, because it's like our first tool in there.
Okay, well, if you write that book, I'll definitely be the first to get it.
Yeah.
because I love working with coconuts. I feel very, very special, very magical. So that's
super
really
good for it's super good for cleansing. It's really good. You can put cascarilla around the coconut, and when it looks very white, you I don't know how you say when you are playing football and you push the balloon with your feet. You do that with the coconut for all your home, for all the corners, and in the end you take the coconut in front of your home and you break in the front. And when the coconut breaks, you're breaking every course of anything bad energy that he takes from the home, and you just break it outside, and this course never again can come again to this same place.
That's cool. That's kind of like, that sounds to me kind of like the egg limpias, but instead of on your body, that's a way to clean your space, because the coconut's a lot bigger. It can contain a lot more.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna be kicking coconuts around my apartment the next time someone I don't like comes over. Yeah, wow. Thank you for sharing that. That's really cool. The next question also comes from Josie, and it's more about like astrology. And I know that you are very well versed in astrology, and she wonders, how can she learn the signs that the moon is in? For example, like when we say the full moon is in Taurus or the new moon is in Scorpio, is there a way to kind of learn that information, or do you just look it up? You know, how would you recommend someone? Maybe there's a book you recommend.
Okay, do you can learn the information about which effects has the moon in every sign. That is something very important for your magic. It's one of these things that if you don't know it, your magic will continue working. But if you have that information, your magic is really powerful, because you have literally all the energies in your favor, in your benefit. It's all the energies in there. So it's very important if you find that information. Now, learn in which position is every moment is a little difficult, because this is the thing. You can memorize this little exercise that I have, that is every 4 weeks approximately, you have a new full moon. Every 4 weeks you have a new moon. So it's 2 weeks new moon, 2 weeks full moon, 2 weeks new moon, 2 weeks full moon. That's pretty easy. But the sign specifically is a little more complicated, because the moon changes the sign between every 2-3 days. So it's a little complicated. Follow that. So for that reason, we have so many calendars and agendas with all of that information, astrological journals. But what the most another tip, for example, for this is, for example, the month that you have the sun, or the sun in Sagittarius, you know that you have the new moon in Sagittarius. So you pass from there. So in this month, I have the sun in the sign of Sagittarius. When is the new moon? The new moon is this Friday. So the new moon will be in Sagittarius. So 2 days after, I have the new moon. I have the moon in Capricorn. 2 days after, I have it in Aquarius. 2 days after, I have it in Pisces. But it's easier if you find a calendar. You don't need to buy it, because it's many apps for phones that you can download. I use That Moon, that is for free, and it's pretty easy to use in Android. I know that iPhone has a lot of options too. So the sign, follow the sign is a little complicated and can be too much work for you. It's totally better if you have a calendar. Just try to remember when is the new moon, when is the full moon. That will be very useful for you. If you know in which sign is the sun in this moment, you just try to prepare yourself for the next ritual. Oh, I know that everybody's saying that in this moment we have the sun in Capricorn. So let me look for information which energies or which kind of rituals I can put in practice with the new moon in Capricorn, because if the sun is in Capricorn, very probably the new moon will be in Capricorn too.
Yeah, so Josie, I know you were trying to hear some things. The Llewellyn, I use the Llewellyn calendars. I've used them for years, and they're a really good resource. They're usually like $15 or so. Because like an app, I don't know why I like paper things better, but I do. So up behind me actually is the Llewellyn calendar, and it has all of the moon transits right on it. But they also have like a Llewellyn planner. So like a journal, a day planner for your scheduling that has it all written out for you.
And they have the pocket one. They have the pocket planner that is
Yep.
very small, it's not expensive, and it's available in all the bookstores. It's super small, so literally you can have it in your pocket, and they put a new one every year with all of this information.
Does Janine, yeah, Janine has it. She's holding it up if you can see Janine's screen. She's got the 2021 date book in her hand. So that's a great size. It's pretty easy to carry around, and you can use it, you know, as your planner. So I have like the wall version of the calendar. So those are really helpful. And then also what Elhoim was saying is if you know what sign the sun is in, then you automatically know what sign the new moon for that month is going to be in, because they're the same. So if the sun is in Capricorn, then the new moon that month will also be in Capricorn.
Exactly.
And the full moon is going to be the exact opposite. So it's going to be the sign that's 6 months after that new moon. So if the new moon is in Leo, then that means the full moon that month will be in Aquarius. So that's exactly 6 months the opposite. So that's kind of a good formula to keep in your mind. If you know where the sun is, then you can figure out pretty quickly the new moon and the full moon. And then from there, you know, the moon is moving through the zodiac every 2 to 3 days in the same,
super fast.
The same order: Aries, Pisces, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, da, 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 da. So thank you for that. And thank you for that question. Let's see, the next question is, how do you see, or do you see manifestation being used as a tool for collective healing and liberation? And this question comes from Mickey. And we were talking earlier in the discussion a little bit about, you know, some of these bigger issues that we deal with, like systemic poverty and racism and capitalism and the patriarchy, and, you know, these things that affect the money that we have and the prosperity that we have in a very real way. How can we use manifestation in order to heal from that as a collective, and also, you know, how to free ourselves from that, you know, as a collective, but also as individuals? Do you see manifestation as a tool that can be used to fight those things?
Yeah, thank you, Mickey, for the question. I follow this amazing person in social media. She lives in Maine, that is Lori Deschas. Lori Deschas is a very well-known acupuncturist. She wrote some books about healing work, about acupuncturist. She's like a queen on this topic. She has this very nice quote that is, we can heal without someone else. We need a healer, and we are the healer for someone else. We heal in a community. You can't heal alone. You need the doctor, and you need to also be the doctor for someone else. That's something that I always try to apply personally in my craft. I can do a spell alone. I can do all my spell work alone. But I know that will be more powerful if I have someone else with me, a coven, a person, a partner who join me and try to work with me with the same goal. This is the thing about this topic that is super difficult to explain or to understand. It's a lot of poverty. That's the truth. We don't have a very good way or equality about the money out there. And these people who grow up in this poverty, all their life, they have this chip in their minds of people saying to them, you can go better, you will be poor all your life. I know that for fact, because like I mentioned many times in my social media, I come from a very poor family. I come from poor family level, a little apartment of just one room, just one bathroom, 9 people in the same apartment. Just one food a day for days. I come from that. And I remember many times when you are dreaming to do something, when you're trying to go to the school, when you're trying to really like empower yourself doing something from very child, every time it's that voice from someone else, oh, you can do that. oh, because we are poor. We don't have resources for that. That's for another people. You stop focusing so much in dream and try to put yourself in work. So we have these voices in our mind, these traumatizing voices saying over us, over and over and over, you can do it. So in the end, we believe this lie that is a lie, saying that we can do better. And in these groups of people, is a lot about that, because a lot of people feel like, I have children, so I don't want that they think that they can do something and be disappointed in life. So I prefer just giving this push on their minds immediately and just saying you can do it. So don't focus on that, focus on work, don't go to the school. Many times people take me out of the school because I need to work, being younger, because I need to help to pay the rent in home. These things happen a lot. So it's like, if you don't say to the people that the straws that are plastic to drink things are causing damage in the environment, they don't know. So we need to educate people about it. It's the same with manifestation. We have some kind of work, a social work, to educate people. You know, let me give you 5 minutes of feedback on this, or let me try to sit down with you and let me try to plan a whole class on this. For example, this space that Ali is creating to talk with every one of you about this topic, what she's doing is something really powerful, because if to the meeting comes 1 person, 2 person, 30 person, 100 person, is 1 or 2 or 100 person who the day of tomorrow, they know how they can manifest a best life. So they can apply this knowledge and share it with someone else. It's a social work that we need to do. It's a responsibility that when you understand, you need to do it. For example, it's like I do with the book. Okay, all of these formulas work, and I have all of these other spells that really don't work. I put this out of the book, and I'm going to try to apply this. For example, when I propose the book for the publisher, and I just say, the book is 21 rituals, the publisher says, no, nobody go to buy a book of 21 rituals. And I say, I don't need to put in the book 200 rituals for money that really don't work. I just want that the people focus in these 21 rituals that work for me, work for my clients in your city. This go to work. So let me try to educate the people on this so they can take this knowledge and share with someone else. Manifestation works in that way. When you manifest something, you can apply this knowledge to someone else. You can teach to someone else. So it's a responsibility that we have, and we need to try to find the tools. But sadly, with all the internet and social media, we even yet don't have enough tools to educate people about this, because many times people have fear to dream or try to manifest something because they have these voices, traumatizing voices in their mind saying, you can do it. Don't try, you can do it. I know that because I am now in New York City. I graduated from the college, my partner graduated from the college, I have this book, and anyway, I continue having these voices in my mind over and over saying, don't try that, you can do it. And it's very traumatizing, and we live in a very traumatized society that has a lot of fear about money, about manifestation, about being better, about live better. It's essentially that. I think that we need to try to create or fabricate more tools and trying to bring all of this information out there, not just in books, more classes, more spaces, more of this kind of Zoom meetings, more of these things to try to educate people about the things that they really can do.
I think that's such a good point about how it's like a ripple effect, you know, like something happens small or just to one person and it kind of like permeates out from there. That's something that one of my yoga teachers talks about a lot, of like how you work on yourself. And if you're trying to figure out how to like improve your community or work on some of these bigger issues, just start with yourself. Like it can seem like, you know, so overwhelming to imagine how to overcome some of these bigger issues, but by focusing the energy on ourselves, manifesting small things for ourselves, then, you know, we share that with the next person, or the next person sees what we're bringing into our lives, and that can have like a ripple effect on our communities at large.
Yes, you can start simple. You can start, for example, trying to create not like a coven, but you can try to find yourself with a little group of your friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, and you meet together one day and come to my home, or we can do something virtual, eat some snacks virtually. I do it many times, and we try to focus, try to do a meditation, try to manifest something, try to work on something. What do you want to manifest? I want to manifest this. Okay, we want to focus for 10 minutes to meditate together, wherever we are, physically or virtually, and we want to manifest these things that you are thinking for 10 or 15 minutes. We break very deep, we take a little break, and after that, in which we want to focus now, or in which another day we can focus to do this manifestation for someone else in the group. Try to manifest in group, try to heal in group, because it's like magic and witchcraft. You can work together with people, with community, or you can work alone. But if you are with a community, it's always stronger, it's better, faster results, and you are growing together. It's like a wave. When the wave comes, everybody's rising.
Thank you for that. So it looks like I've come to the end of the questions that are in the chat box. So I just want to open it up to any of the members if there are any last minute questions or comments or anything that you would like to drop down, or if you would like to unmute yourself to say anything to Elhoim before we let him go, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I will take this time to just say thank you so much, Elhoim, for joining us and for answering our questions. I really feel like the next month of reading for us, for those of us who are finishing up the book, is really going to be a different experience, having actually heard from you directly, your motivations behind writing this book and what you are hoping that every reader really takes away from the experience of reading it. So I want to thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for taking your time this evening to be with us. People in the comments are saying thank you. So I think everyone really appreciates you being here with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for this. This was really beautiful. I love this experience. Thank you, Ali, for creating this space. We need more people like you doing this. Really, we need more people trying to creating spaces where everybody feels safe and comfortable and informed, and less people just trying to take the spotlight. And that's the reason why I followed you from many years ago, and why I love you and adore you, because you are really doing all of this amazing work that other people with better tools or with more access to different tools don't do it. And you are doing a lot of work, and everybody see it, and everybody really appreciate it. Thank you, Ali, for this. You are beautiful, and thank you, everyone. Please continue supporting Ali, because she's really awesome. Please.
Oh, thank you, Elhoim. I really appreciate you so much. Your friendship means so much to me. It's so wonderful to be in community with you. My book, everyone get jealous because yeah, my book is signed by the author himself. I got to get it signed at Witch Fest. So I already had the book, and I had to get a second copy because I was like, I got to get it signed. Because it just, I had to take some more of your energy home with me. I appreciate all the work that you put out there, all of the knowledge that you share with us. And I really appreciate the way that you write your books, because I feel like they're very accessible no matter what level of practitioner you are. They're not too complicated. They're not too esoteric, information. They're very, down home, sort of understandable and relatable magic. And I think that, that just is something that is really valuable for so many people just stepping into their magical journeys or into their spiritual journeys. So I really appreciate your voice in the spiritual world, and just continue being beautiful and magical. And thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon, and you can, we're going to continue doing some announcements and some other meeting stuff. So you can, X out of the meeting whenever you are ready. And blessed be, have a beautiful evening, and thank you again for being here.
Enjoy, everyone. Learn a lot. Continue supporting Ali. Continue being awesome, every one of you. Continue being kind. Be wild. Stay well and stay safe. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night. Yay. today. That was really, really wonderful. Thank you guys so much for all of your questions. It was good for me, even knowing Elhoim. When I'm reading the book, I'm reading it in his accent. I'm reading it in his voice. So I think it's been hopefully helpful to you guys to actually hear that firsthand. And as you continue to read the book now, you can also do that weird thing where you read it in his accent, because that's what I do when I'm reading. And I think he brought some really interesting insights into like how to move forward with reading the book, and also just how to think about this whole question of manifesting prosperity and abundance, and is it possible, and what do we need to do as people in order to like get there mentally, to be able to feel like we can call into our lives whatever it is that we want. Yeah, I know his accent. I love it too. But interestingly, he talked about that at Witch Fest, and how afraid he has been to like do public speaking or even to write in English and things like that, because he has a heavy accent, and because English isn't his first language. And I think he does pretty great. You know what I mean? I think he does a pretty good job. Yeah, he does talk fast. He does talk fast. Luckily, this video will be posted for the seekers as a recording. Usually I try to get it out by like Monday, Tuesday of the next week. So by next week, you'll have the recording if you feel like you want to go back and re-listen to things and stuff like that, in case there was anything that you missed. So thank you guys so much for your questions. We can move now into show and tell if there's anything. I know that people are probably early in the book and may not have had a chance to actually start making anything or doing any of the spells or rituals that are outlined in the book. But if anybody does have anything that they've done so far that they would like to share, go ahead and unmute yourself and share it.
I haven't really done any spells or anything like that, but he talked about documenting your work or just, different things in the book. And I do that, but sometimes my notes are all, if I really want to find something, I got to go to this book and this book and this book. And so I'm trying to work on concise or having specific books for different things. And so I went ahead and got a journal for just reading what I'm reading and making notes for that. And also, I think he talked in the book about when you have your chalice, don't leave it empty. And I often do. And I could see the meaning of that with keeping that full, so that is a manifestation that you always have. And so I have done that also. I'm not going to show you the glass, but I have on both of my I have 2 chalices on my altar, and that just seemed, I know it sounds simple, but it just seems so great. Not a concept that I always did. Sometimes they're full, sometimes they're not, but I wasn't really conscious of it.
I like that. That makes me think of Psalm 23, my cup runneth over, and like having your cup always be full. Somebody had taught me, she's a santera, the person who taught me this, but I think it's all connected. And she said, when you're like in between workings, or let's say you have an altar that you don't work all the time, empty the cup and then turn it upside down on the altar. So they know that, the energy knows that the cup is not really representing your vessel of being receiving at that moment. It's kind of like at rest at that moment. But if it's right side up, then to keep it full. So I thought that was cool to learn. Whoa. All right, feel free to unmute yourself if there's anything else anyone else wants to share.
Allie,
Yeah.
it's not to do with the book,
Yeah.
but I got a chair.
Yay! Nice. How do you like it?
I put it together today in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, it takes a little while because
Yeah.
there's a lot of parts.
I was a little intimidated. I'm just worried that the arms might be not tight enough, because it's saying don't tighten them too much, but I'm like, so we'll see. But it's nice.
Yeah,
My
nice.
company paid for it, so.
Oh, good. Even better. Shoot. I took a nap in mine yesterday.
Flat
So,
out?
yeah, like I reclined it all the way back with the feet up and I fell asleep. I slept for 2 hours in this thing.
Do you have the little massagey thing?
No,
Oh, okay.
I didn't upgrade to the fancy version. I got like the cheapest one, but it has the footrest.
I got the footrest and I had the
And I've got,
massage.
like, lumbar parts, you know, that you can move around. So I like
Yeah.
moved it around to a good position.
No, I was massaging one I was watching this
Nice.
gentleman. Yeah, so bonus.
Nice. Good. It's
Good,
good.
good, good reco.
Environment.
Betty, I got mine also, but sad part about it, it's been sitting at my front door for 2 weeks. Don't tell nobody.
What? You are
It's not-
denying yourself the pleasure of
Yeah.
the chair.
I done put so much stuff together. I am so anti putting stuff together right now.
Yeah.
It's really not hard. And there's a 3-minute YouTube video.
No, I actually bought a chair when Ali was saying when she said something the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat in that chair and I was like, oh, HE double hockey says, no, this ain't happening. So I took that back and ordered the chair that she said. But since it came, it's just, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Well, you know, can't you? They have those like handy people that you can hire nowadays, like TaskRabbit and stuff.
Jiffy.
They
or-
scare me because anytime someone else had put something together for me, they damaged it. And I'm looking at them like, you're about to buy it.
Oh no.
I don't even let my son put my stuff together. I get there one day, I promise.
Yeah,
Allie, did you put yours together or your hubby?
I put mine together.
Yeah, it wasn't hard. It wasn't.
Yeah.
And my directions were fantastic. The nuts were all separated and numbers. I was like,
Yeah, and
okay.
everything was labeled and everything like that.
I read the book first.
IKEA, I had some IKEA furniture and that shit was complicated. Those instructions didn't make no
Oh.
sense, but this was like, I was like, why can't IKEA do it this way where they just like put a letter on all the different parts and put them in different plastic bags and like actually separate everything out so that it makes sense? Because this wasn't, it took me a little while because I almost put the arms on like backwards and then I had to figure out like left, right, whatever. But it wasn't too hard. Joe was painting the wall while I was putting this together.
Yeah, it's too hard. No.
Key word is why don't IKEA? You said sense, common sense. That's why, common
Right.
sense. That's why. But no, literally, I haven't even cracked the box open. It's sitting at the front door, like it's about to move out. But I'm telling her she can't go nowhere yet.
Well, listen, you want to open that though, because if there is anything damaged inside, you want to let them know in enough time for like whatever the return window is or whatever. Because I did that one time where I had something and I was like, oh, whatever. And I had waited for like 2 months before I opened it, and I opened it and a piece of it was broken inside.
True, very true.
Check on that. But many happy sits afterwards. I wish you many happy sits. So yeah, so before we move into the closing prayer, I'll just let you guys know what's going on. Hopefully you have all had a chance to follow along with the BronxWitch HQ journey, fully up and operating. Tarot readings, yoni sessions, Reiki sessions are happening here. And I've already started talking to some amazing spiritual practitioners in the area who might want to start offering their services here as well. So that's really exciting. Today is Black Friday, so my herbal medicine shop, BronxWitch Bodega, is having a sale, 15% off with the code Black Friday, and that will be going through. Yes, Lupe's like getting her teas. That will be happening up until midnight tonight, at which point the shop will shut down for its monthly reset. You know, I make everything from scratch, so I take a week to get all my herbs together and remake everything and restock everything. So you definitely want to grab any teas, smoke blends, steams before the shop shuts down tonight with a nice little discount. And then I'll reopen next week, Saturday. I think it's the 4th. It's the 3rd or the 4th at 12 noon. I'll be back up and running, but readings and things like that are happening all next week. So if any of you want any private readings or anything like that, virtual and in person are options. So definitely check out the website. And maybe I'll see you guys, tell a friend, all that good stuff. I really want, HQ to be a place where people in the community feel like they can come and feel comforted. The in-person readings and sessions that I've had this week have been wonderful because everybody has stayed here like 30 minutes longer than what they were scheduled for. And that's just fine. That just tells me that people are so comfortable that they just want to sit and talk and keep drinking their tea and keep enjoying themselves. So I really feel like this is becoming a place where people can go, you know, to just feel good after they have been here. And this place wouldn't exist without you guys. So thank you so much. I'm a firm believer in paying people for their time, especially people of color, women, people from marginalized groups. So I did offer some pay to Elhoim for being here. So your membership fees are going directly to compensating him for his time and being here. And that's important to me. To not expect people to just do things for free. So I really appreciate you guys being paying members, because you doing that, you know, makes it possible for us to pay it forward to the next author, the next creator that is making these amazing books for us and writing these things and collecting this knowledge for us. So thank you guys so much for being paying members, because it really does matter. Our next month, we will still be reading Manifestation Magic, and we will still have a December meeting session. It will probably be towards like the end of the month, like the 28th through the 30th kind of thing, because I will be out of town around Christmas, but when I come back, that will be a great time. So hopefully that timing works out for everybody as well, and you'll be able to join. But there will be polls posted on the community tab around the first week of December for us to vote on the days and times that will work the best for the majority of us. So keep an eye out on the community tab for those posts coming up in the next couple of weeks, so you can vote and hopefully get the day that works best for you guys. So yeah, if there's anybody who's watching this on replay and you want to join us, it's never too late, because we do take 2 months to read through the book. So there's always time to catch up. You can get the book from my Amazon storefront, or you can, probably even more cost effective, you can buy it directly from Wiser using the BronxWitch code, which is BRXW, all capitals. I'll type it in the chat for folks. And the code gives you 30% off of everything in the Wiser shopping list, which is pretty cool. So Red Wheel Wiser, I believe, is the website to actually buy books directly from Wiser. And if you go there, then you can use the code BRXW and get 30% off. If that's too complicated or you're not interested in that, because I think you do have to pay for shipping and stuff, your other option is to get the book through Amazon, and you can use my storefront link, which is going to be down in the description of this video when it is posted. Yes, Betty, we will have a collective reading for the new moon that will be happening on Friday, I believe at 5 o'clock. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's when I have it on my schedule. But there will be a post about it the day before to let people know that it is happening. Back in the day, before I kind of shut down in order to make this place happen, we were doing weekly lives during the quarantine, which was amazing. And I thank everyone for, you know, tuning in every week for those collective readings. Now that life is getting back to, I don't know, normal, I guess, or something, and folks are returning to work and all of that stuff, instead of weekly live readings for the collective, we will have live readings for the collective on the full moon and the new moon of every month, to prepare us for that moon phase, that 2-week period, give us an idea of what the energy is looking like astrologically and otherwise. So yes, we will have a new moon reading, and I believe we'll have a full moon reading as well, because I think that happens before I go away, but I'll definitely post about that too. So
Allie,
yes,
somewhere down the road, if not right now, because I know all this is new to you,
yeah.
but have you thought about maybe getting a person to help you, like a front office person to help you out so you won't get burnt out?
I mean, all the time, all the time. Yeah. I mean, that is something that okay, yes, it's the 18th. I think I leave the 19th. So somewhere around there, 17th, 18th, there'll probably be a collective reading. But yes, I would love that. Like I said, being able to pay people for their time is really important. And I just haven't gotten to that place yet where there's enough coming into the shop or into headquarters to be able to compensate someone for their time. So, I do all of this for free and use the membership fees and the what people pay in the store or in readings to be able to cover it all. And yeah, I'm hoping that that's one of my goals. One of the things I plan to manifest for this upcoming year would be to have an office assistant. Yeah.
You might be able to find an intern or somebody that's looking for an apprenticeship that wants to learn the craft and want to, be under you like a tutelage. That would do it for free. Just having a learning experience.
Yeah. That's something to think about for sure. Money matters. Everybody's got to eat. So, I would want to pay somebody at least something, even if it wasn't like, a full salary or something like that, but maybe some type of exchange where they're paid money, but also, get to work with me and learn some things and, learn tarot, learn some of the practices that I've learned. Definitely. So yeah, that is something on the horizon for sure. Because with every day that passes, it's more and more work. And yeah, it's definitely a lot, but I couldn't be doing it without you guys for sure. Your support, your encouragement, it really, really makes a huge difference. So I thank all of you.
Thank you for having him on today. That is so incredible. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try to make that a thing, as best I can. Obviously, the authors that we have, some of them are easier to get in touch with than others. Some of the bigger names are a little harder. You got to go through managers and agents and stuff just to get them to appear for something. So I'm doing my best to try to figure out like how to reach out to people. In this world of social media, makes it a lot easier, which is great. So I'm definitely going to be trying to make this a regular thing where I reach out to the author and see if either in the first session or the second session, they don't mind, popping in for us. So, if you're ever wondering what your membership fees goes towards, it's to stuff like that. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you.
Do you teach that?
What's that?
Do you teach the tarot too?
So I do feel comfortable. Like I'm at a point, I've been reading for almost 20 years. So I do feel like I'm at a point where I can do that. And it's one of the things that I sort of have on my list of things to do for 2022 is to put together a course that is relatable and approachable, but also affordable for people. So as many people as possible can do it. And also with a focus on marginalized communities, on women, on people of color, on LGBTQ folk, and how tarot in particular is a tool for people in those communities to heal, to learn more about themselves, to communicate with deceased loved ones and other entities and things like that. So my brain's been percolating, and that's been kind of coming together to figure out, should it be a live thing? Should it be a pre-recorded thing? Like, how do I do all of that? So that's definitely in the works. And I hope to have it more solidly figured out by next year for sure. So, and now that I have this space, potentially in-person classes, which could be really cool for people, because I know sometimes people really need to be like hands-on in person. And I know for me, I sign up for online classes all the time, and then I don't even watch them because they're just like a link or just a recorded thing, So sometimes it's better to actually have a class to have to go to and physically show up. So I think it would be kind of cool to have like a mix of like in person here for people who can come here, and then people who can't come here to have it online and be live online. So yeah, I got to figure all that out. I definitely want to do a tarot course. Yeah, for sure. All right. Are there any other comments or questions before I close us up with a closing prayer? Okay, if there are, just stop me. Otherwise, ooh, masterclass. Yeah, masterclass is pretty awesome. Masterclass.
I actually want to compliment Josie. I love her hair.
Whose hair?
Josie's hair.
Oh, Josie, yes. Josie from the Marilyn Monroe, the blondes, yes.
I love it.
That is pretty.
And it's true, blondes do have more fun.
I love that. Awesome. That was funny. All right. So let's all take a moment to give thanks to Josie's hair, to Elhoim for being here with us, to all of our ancestors, our guides, and our guardians for helping to facilitate this meeting. Every time it goes well, every time we're able to communicate and understand each other and express ourselves, I know that it's at least in part because of the wonderful energy that they bring to the table when they're with us. So I thank them for being with us, and I thank the spirit of every single person that tuned into this meeting, and to anyone who watches it back on playback. Thank you for taking the time to share this space with me and with all of the rest of us. And I wish everyone a beautiful and blessed and bountiful rest of the evening. So mote it be.
Thanks, Allie.
Thank
Get
you
home
so
safe.
much.
Thank you guys. I'm so glad you guys.
Thank you guys. Bye.
It's so good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a blessed night.
You
Blessed
too.
night.